First off, I want to say that this is definitely going to be a controversial video. But I wanted to be really real, and I really wanted to go into this because I think it's important. So I'm going to be talking about NCT Taeyong's scandal. I think, first of all of us have been a bully, whether it was in one situation or another. And I think all of us know kind of what it feels like. And some of us immediately shrunk away from that and didn't like the way it felt. And some of us were like, oh my gosh, this is power, you know? And being power hungry can be a thing. So I think, first of all of us have been a bully. And that's important to recognize because all of us have probably also been a victim of some type of bullying, whether it was verbal or physical or, anything that was a lot or a little bit deeper than that. So I think all of us can relate to this situation, which is why all of us probably have opinions about it. I think first and foremost, it's extremely important to recognize the steps that Taeyong has taken ever since these incidents that happened. So these happened when he was quite a bit younger, like middle school-ish age, I'm going to say. And I think it's important to recognize that since then, he has become an SM trainee. He has worked extremely hard to progress and improve his group, and not only that, to progress and improve his own skill in everything that they've asked him to do. So I think that's important, and here's why. When he was first scouted by SM, Taeyong was not a good dancer, and there's videos about this, there's information about this. I'm not just speculating. He was not a good dancer, and he took the time to be reshaped and remolded by a teacher. That takes a huge level of humility and being able to recognize that you are wrong. That's very hard. A lot of people don't like taking criticism. It can be extremely difficult because you feel very personally attacked when you take criticism, because even though it's not specifically that you as a person are wrong and everything you're doing is wrong, there is a level of, I'm making mistakes. I'm not doing things right. So not only was he able to take the input of another person to help reshape him and rechange an entire aspect of his life, but now he does that on his own. So if you think about that, that is a journey of changing who you are and what you do, kind of, in a sense, your values, because now dancing is a value of his. It's important to him. Why do I think that's important? Because that's exactly the journey that he's taken since making those mistakes. He has taken everything that SM Entertainment stands for and tried to embody it as a person. That can be really hard because you can lose who you are, which to every person that's individual and very personal. So not only has he done an amazing job to reshape who he is, but he's also tried to embody what an entertainment group stands for, which is huge. And I think it goes to show where he's coming from and what he's done to try and improve who he is. And I don't know, and I don't think any of us know really what the circumstances were of this scandal and this information that we've received. But on multiple occasions, he has apologized. And not only apologized, he's cried. I'm going to come extremely clean. I hate crying in front of people. I hate it. It makes me super uncomfortable. It makes me feel weak and vulnerable. He's done it in front of cameras. And that footage has been shown to so many people. And I think it's important to look at the fact that not only has he done this out of remorse, tried to change who he is, but he's never said, look, I've already apologized for this. I don't need to apologize for this anymore. No, he apologizes again in that situation. Now, I want to talk about because there are people who believe because of these previous incidents that he does not deserve all of the titles that he has been given. And I mean, he's the face of the group. He's the main dancer. He's the main rapper. He's got all of these things that he is in charge of in NCT. Where do I stand on this, and where do I think? I think he does deserve it because he's taken all of this time to try and change and to try and correct the wrong that he made in his own life. And that's really important and really crucial because a lot of us make mistakes, and we know we make mistakes. We do nothing to change it. And I am so guilty of this. All of us are. We see that we make mistakes and we're like, oh my gosh, that's so dumb. But it doesn't change the fact that we still do them. And it's kind of funny to think about, but it's also awful because we shouldn't be doing that. But he has really taken the time to, change his own self and change who he is and try and stand for something better and be better. And that's huge because until you try to do that and actually do that as a person, you never change. And not only that, those steps that you take, they're so hard. They're extremely hard because you have to get over your own ego and your own pride to be able to admit to having done something wrong. I mean, they could have tried to cover this whole thing up, and it could have gone one of two ways. It could have gotten even worse, or it could have just blown over, and he could have gotten away with being an idol and having this scandal that wasn't true, even though, X amount of eyewitnesses or people said that it happened. They didn't try to cover it up. Instead, he took responsibility for his actions, which is another thing that is very hard to do when you know you've done something wrong and you don't feel good about it. So I do think he deserves these positions. Also, I think it was very smart of SM to give him these responsibilities because I think that is a key factor to how he has changed who he is. And I think being a leader and being in charge of people, having responsibility over others, allows you to sympathize with them better. When you are a coworker and your coworker does something that you absolutely cannot stand, you want to sock them in the face. You want to fire them. You want to just get rid of them or beat them up or whatever it takes to make you feel better, right? As a manager, you have a little bit more insight on what their family situation is, why it's not a good idea to fire them, why they're still around even though they do these aggravating things. So I think making him a leader was actually very, very smart on SM's part because now he sympathizes especially with his members, and that has allowed him to more fully recognize the responsibility that he has to take for his actions now and in the past. And he said that the thought that he could hurt these people with past things that he's done when he was young and irresponsible, it destroys him. If you watch him talk about it on camera, you can tell it's heartbreaking for him. And I think it would be for anybody because we do these things and we think it's all over. If everybody one day woke up famous, like everybody would be all in your crap on the internet. They would want to know all the dirt on you. And it's awful. We should stop that. So I think it was very smart of SM to make him a leader. And I think it goes to show what his real character is and what the potential that he had was and the potential that they saw. Because now he takes care of a ridiculous amount of people as a leader. There's videos of him doing that, counting them all, making sure they're all okay, trying to be there for them. And it's shown, I think, how much he's grown as a person and changed from when these incidents actually took place. So my personal opinion is that you should be interested in him and what he's doing now to try and live a better life and what he's doing to try and make amends for what he's done in the past. I think idols especially get picked and pulled apart for their duality because they do have a very different stage presence. Having acted on a stage, it's just a thing that happens. And honestly, for me, I had a whole like stage presence that wasn't even close to my personality, but it helped me to get over the fear of actually being on stage to act as a different person. So I think a lot of idols do it that way because they're actually not very comfortable on stage. They're not comfortable doing what they're asked to do on stage, creating another person that you become when you're on stage who's more confident makes it a lot easier. I think that's really important just for any idol. Um, do I think you should support NCT as a whole? Absolutely. There's a lot of incredible people in there who have worked extremely hard for where they are and who continue to do that. Do I think you should support him as the leader of NCT? Absolutely. I think he's made so many changes in his life to try and right these wrongs, to try and um, work and be a better person for the people around him, which is huge. I think he's done it for himself as well. I think he didn't spend hours and hours and hours on end working to improve his dance for his teacher. Because if he did it for his teacher, he would have given up. You have to do things that change your life for you, and that's just a fact. So I do support Taeyong. And even though he's not like my ultimate bias in the group, I think it's important to recognize the steps that he has made in order to change who he is to be better for us, for the people around him, for SM, to be a role model and to truly embody what an idol should. So I know this is pretty controversial, but I hope you guys keep an open mind when thinking about idols and kind of the challenges they have to go through. And that is all I have for this video. Thank you if you stayed till the end, and feel free to check out any of my other videos. If you want to hear my opinions on anything, you're welcome to ask. I may or may not do it because I don't really enjoy talking about controversial things just because it sparks a lot of anger in people, and I don't really like making people angry. So I'm more than willing to talk about things. Um, but again, if you didn't enjoy this video and you're really mad right now, this is a lot of it is my opinion based on the facts that I have. So I'm not telling you your opinion is wrong. I'm just telling you my opinion based on the facts that I have. So there you go. Thanks again. And I will see you in the next video, hopefully.